Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Loved. I'm a Nigerian. I love fashion, I love beauty, I love all feminine related things. And today I want to talk about understanding the Kibbe body type for Black women. David Kibbe, if you haven't heard about him, is a stylist, an American stylist based in New York. And he released a book titled Metamorphosis in the late 1980s. His system is based on the yin and yang balance, yin meaning feminine and yang meaning masculine. And his idea is that we all should replicate the lines in our bodies in order to look as beautiful and as attractive as we all want to look. His system is not about trying to, dress a certain way in order to look perfect. You're already perfect the way you are. All you just need to do is replicate the lines of your body in clothing. His system has 5 main body types and 8 subtypes. The main types are dramatic, romantic, classic, natural, and gemein. Dramatic and romantic are the extremes that David Kibbe has in his system. By extremes, I mean dramatic is yang, while romantic is yin. Now, these 2 body types I've mentioned now just have 1 subtype each. The subtype of dramatic is soft dramatic, and the subtype of romantic is theatrical romantic. The other body types have 2 subtypes each, unlike dramatic and romantic that have just 1 subtype each. Now for natural has soft natural and flamboyant natural. Classic has soft classic and dramatic classic. Gemein has soft gemein and flamboyant gemein. Dramatic is on the yang end of the spectrum, and they have visually long arms and legs. You look at them, you can see how long their arms and legs appear. Their arms and legs are not just long, they appear narrow. Now for their hands and feet are also long, very long and very narrow. Now for their facial structure, they have very prominent bones on their face, like you can see Tara Banks' cheekbone. They look very, very high, very prominent. They have this natural contour on their face. Now their jawline is also the same thing, very sharp, very prominent. You look at it and you can see how sharp the edges of her jawline appear. That's Sierra, and you can see that that's the same thing in her jawline. The edges appear very sharp and very visible and very prominent. Now dramatics they have very sharp shoulders, sharp and narrow looking shoulders. You look at them, you can see how visually sharp their shoulders appear. Dramatic women also appear very tall with long and narrow looking body. They are very compact together. You see them, you see how narrow they appear and very tall. Now romantics are like the opposite of dramatic. There's nothing long and narrow about them. There's nothing prominent about them. They are soft, they are not sharp. They look short with short looking hands and feet. They have delicate looking arms and legs. Rather than long and narrow, they are rather wide and short. Now for the overall shape of dramatics are very long and narrow without waist definition or any form of hip definition. Romantics, on the other hand, are very voluptuous, very curvy, and you can see how defined their waistline are and how defined their hip line look. Now for their facial bone structure, their cheekbones appear very delicate and rounded. Their jawline could be delicate and tapered or delicate and rounded. If you take a close look at the pictures of these ladies I've inserted here, you can see how delicate their facial bone structure appear. Beyonce's jawline is tapered, doesn't have any structure to it. It's just looking very delicate. And that's also the same thing with Drew Barrymore's jawline and cheekbone. Also the same thing with our Kenyan model Yakim Gatwek. If you take a close look at her jawline, especially because her jawline is delicate, but you can see that even though it's not tapered, it doesn't have any bit of structure to it. It lacks structure. And you can see how soft it looks, and yeah, so that's all for romantic. We are moving over to theatrical romantic. Like I said earlier, theatrical romantic is a subtype of romantic. Now, theatrical romantic are just like romantic, just that they have a little bit of sharpness to them. Like if you look at Rihanna's picture here, you can see that her cheekbone is prominent, more like a dramatic cheekbone, but her jawline is tapered. Now, theatrical romantics could have sharp shoulders, long looking arms and legs. Just have a little bit of sharpness to their otherwise delicate physique. Now, in summary, theatrical romantic is a romantic with a little bit of dramatic features or dramatic undercurrents, in Kibbe's words. So now let's talk about soft dramatic. Soft dramatic is a woman who is a dramatic but with a little bit of some romantic features. Like for example, you look at Tara Banks, you see that she's tall, she has long arms and legs, long hands and feet. She has very prominent facial bone structures. But her bust line is very prominent. That is a romantic feature. And she has a defined waistline. She also has a defined hip line. So this is where she gets her romantic undercurrent from. Now, soft dramatic women should not be taken as romantic women because their bones are all dramatic. Now, if you look at this picture, you see that both women look curvy. Beyonce and Tara Banks both look curvy, but Tara Banks is head and shoulders above Beyonce. She looks taller and bigger than Beyonce. That's because of her bone structure. Her bone structure is more yang, while Beyonce is more yin. So the next body type is natural. Naturals are also like dramatics, but they are called soft yang. They don't have sharp features, they have blunt features. Their cheekbone looks wide and prominent rather than sharp and prominent. Their jawline also looks wide and prominent rather than sharp and prominent. Now, for their hands and feet, the size of their hands and feet, it's wide and broad rather than long and narrow. You look at your hands and you see that your hands looks wider than your friends. That means you have a natural hand and feet. Their shoulders are wide and broad. You look at it, you see how wide it looks, and the edges of their shoulders look blunt rather than sharp. Now, they don't have as much waist definition. Their waist is slightly straight, and they don't have a prominent hip line either. Now, specific words are used to describe the different Kibbe body types. For dramatics, long and narrow and angular is used to describe them. For romantic, short and delicate is used to describe them. For natural, wide and broad are the words used to describe a natural woman. Everything about her is wide and broad and long too. Like I said earlier, the natural has two subtypes, soft natural and flamboyant natural. For the soft natural is a natural with softness on her flesh. You can also say she is a natural with romantic undercurrent. Now, her softness can come from the flesh on her on her face, it could come from her lips, it could come from her figure, like this Nigerian celebrity. Her name is Destiny Etiko. You can see how voluptuous she look. You can see her defined hip line, her defined waistline. So it's not that all natural women will be this voluptuous, but you can just have your softness from different parts of your body, either your face or your shape or your bust line. Now we made it to the flamboyant natural. The flamboyant natural is a woman who is a natural with a few dramatic features. You can say she's a natural with dramatic undercurrents. Now, her dramatic features could be on her facial bone structures or on her body. Like Sierra. Sierra has a natural cheekbone and a dramatic jawline, and she appears very tall. Same thing with Solange, same thing with Winnie Harlow. They mostly have natural bones, but just a few dramatic features here and there unpredictably in their bodies. Now the classic body type, like I said earlier again, they have the soft classic and dramatic classic. The classic, unlike any other body type I've mentioned here, is a blend of romantic and dramatic. You can compare a classic body type to a smoothie. You blend all your fruit together and you cannot pinpoint which fruit is which because they have been blended together evenly. So the classic woman has moderate features. Her cheekbone is moderate, her jawline is moderate, her height is moderate, her hands and feet is moderate. She does not appear to be lean, long and dry, neither does she appear to be wide and broad, neither does she appear short and delicate. She's just moderate, evenly blended. Now, the dramatic classic, which is a subtype of the classic, is a classic with dramatic undercurrent. That means this woman is a classic. She's balanced, but she has a few sharpness to her body. She could be tall, she could have maybe her jawline or her cheekbone could be prominent, but overall she is blended, just that she has a few dramatic features to her bones. The soft classic is a classic woman with romantic undercurrent, or you could say romantic features, And these romantic features could be found mostly on her facial bone structures and on her facial flesh. She could have a little bit of softness in there, and her softness could also come from her overall shape. Romantics are very curvy and very shapely. Her softness could come from her figure. She could have a very defined waistline and a prominent hip line. Now the Gemein, just like the classic, is a combination of dramatic and romantic, but the classic is a blend of both body type, yin and yang. But the Gemein is a mixture. It's not a blend. This mixture combine unpredictably, like you could see a Gemein woman who is very petite but has very prominent cheekbone and a tapered jawline. That is a combination. And then you come to her body, you see that she's very short but has visually long arms and legs, or visually large hands and feet. Now the Gemein has two types: soft Gemein and flamboyant Gemein. The soft Gemein is a Gemein with romantic undercurrent. That means she has a little bit of softness to her body, but the softness is enough to keep her in the Gemein category and not to take her out. This softness could come from her facial features. She could have very delicate looking eyes, or puffy cheeks and very full lips. The flamboyant Gemein is a Gemein with dramatic undercurrent, or you could say young undercurrent. Has more sharpness to her otherwise mixed bone structure. Now, looking at a flamboyant game's facial bone structure, it could still be a combination. Maybe the jawline and the cheekbone are both combinations. One could be yin and one is yang. But now the flesh appears more yang than yin, like it's rather taut than puffy. So that's it for this video, guys. I decided to start my channel because I discovered not much is said about black women. Like you are looking for your body type, you don't see many examples that look like you, so you could relate and understand the system better. Like I said, this is my first video and I'm going to be making more videos on understanding the Kibbe system, how it works, and other system out there, because I don't believe this is the only system, even though it is very helpful. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.